Hey, man.
How you been?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Good. Holy smokes, it's been a minute, eh?
Oh, it's been a while for sure.
How's life?
Life's crazy, but hey, what is it isn't. Right?
Exactly. I love the scarf behind you. It's the best. Cavalry.
Yeah, thanks, man. I've got that one there. I've got one ahead of me. We're my dad and I are season ticket holders, so
Nice. Did you wait? Do we have any games this year or this past year?
nothing
No.
announced yet, but we'll
Yeah.
see.
What is that over there, right there?
Right here.
Yeah.
That's it's a tour poster from the band City in Color.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, yeah. So
How's the new podcast?
so far so good, man. Like
Yeah.
it's a little interesting. It's fun. Um,
Just shooting it, eh? And just having fun with your friends. Yeah.
Well, man, we were doing it anyway,
Yeah.
and this last year was so crazy with everything that's going on in the world. So we're kind of, we're all sitting around bored and not really being able to connect with each other physically. So we just came up with the idea that hey, maybe
Do this. Yeah.
we should give it a go. So we'll see.
It was
Couple of
actually
us.
kind of fun listening to it. I was like, I actually watched the whole first episode. I was like, okay, this is sweet. I'm subscribing.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
cool idea. Like we're gonna tinker with it. We
Yeah.
actually recorded two episodes before the one that came out, and they ran on a little too long, and just kind of tinkering with the formula and everything. So I think we've got it down where we're happy with it for now. But long-term goals, we want to get it up on YouTube
Yeah.
eventually, and start doing it where we're all sitting in the same room together. So
Oh
yeah,
my
it's
god,
fun.
that'd be so cool to see in Calgary. We haven't
Oh,
seen
yeah,
that
it's a
here.
lot of
Yeah.
fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. There's not many of them in Calgary, eh? Like podcasts like that. No.
No, not that I know of. Like we did a little bit of research and kind of looked around, and a lot of stuff is just out there. One guy, two guy, just
Yeah.
you know, talking, going over some of the, just more like replay guys that are
Yeah.
kind of giving you the ins and outs rather than opinion based things. So
Have
yeah,
you
like
always been a diehard sports fan?
yeah,
Yeah.
my whole life. I never really played any sports, just with where my family came from, but yeah, I've been a hockey fan since I can't skate, but I've been a hockey fan since the day I was born, I say, and every other sport's kind of just fallen into place over time. So,
Are you a Flames fan? Flames all the way? Yeah,
oh
okay,
yeah,
good.
born and raised Calgarian, so you have to
Yeah,
be a Flames fan,
of
right? So
course. Yeah. How is the family doing?
they're doing great.
Uh,
Obviously, the year's been challenging, but Eric is halfway through grade 4. Nora is about to be 5.
Holy smokes.
Amy and I are probably stronger than we've ever been,
Yeah.
with it being such a challenging year. So
Hmm.
everybody's healthy, everybody's happy.
Thank God.
Um,
And you're healthy?
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely,
good.
definitely,
Yeah.
100% healthy.
And I was so excited to see you, I don't know, late last year going out and taking photos in the mountains and just on hikes. I was like,
Yeah,
finally, Ryan, it's been so long.
yeah, yeah. I took a big break
Yeah.
there. I kind of got lost in the doing it for likes, as it were,
Yeah.
and I was just way more interested in how things were trending and how things were performing, and I kind of lost just the fun of getting out and shooting and just taking pictures of what I wanted to take pictures of. So that cost me almost a full year and a half, almost
Yeah.
2 years of not taking photos consistently, and I'm still not back to where I was. I'll
Mhm.
be honest, but
What
I
was
do
it?
it.
Was it like a mental breakdown or a creative block? Is that what you had?
No, I like, again, I'd go out and I'd take pictures and I'd put them up on social media, and it just became more about that rather than taking the art and taking the time. And because I got into photography after my cancer fight, as a mental health thing. It was to help my mental health. It was to allow me to find some beauty again after going through some of the ugliest times of my life. And I kind of lost that. I was just way more interested in, I only got 20 likes on
Hmm.
this, but I got 100 likes on that, and it
Like
just
we all
became
have been guilty for it. Yeah.
absolutely. So I just kind of got lost in it, and it really was starting to bother me how I wouldn't put stuff up because I didn't think it was good enough, or I was
Yeah.
comparing myself all the time, which again it's a problem with society.
Yeah.
We all get lost in what everybody's showing everyone in social media, and
It's a
so I
noisy
just kind
world
of,
out there, isn't it?
yeah, man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You never feel Sometimes you never feel enough. You never feel like you're going on the right path. You feel like, oh, that person is doing this or this person is doing that, and it's just like you're only seeing a small snapshot of people's lives. And
You don't know what's going on behind the scenes a lot of
no,
times. Yeah.
and it's
And a lot of times where people are like, "Oh, I'm so good and I'm perfect and look at me smiling happy." Yeah, I don't know if you're really that happy. If you really need to genuinely show it on social media all the time, for the most
Yeah,
part. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So I just took a step back and decided to kind of stop chasing the likes, as it were, and started taking photos for myself. And again, I haven't gotten back to a point where I want to really post all the time. I
Mhm.
still take photos semi regularly, but um, I got two young kids, and I have way more fun just going out in the wilderness with them and taking their pictures
Yeah.
and goofing around rather than trying to get the next big trending thing. So,
What made you get into photography? Why was it photography and not like podcasting or I don't know, art of some sort, another form of art?
well, so after my battle with cancer, after I finished the chemo and after I finished
You know what?
uh
By the way, speaking of that, you
yeah.
never put it up on social media. You didn't tell anybody. Like I didn't even know you went through that.
Yeah, well, again, it was so I was
Like we've known each other for a long time now, and all of a sudden I'm like, you say, I beat cancer. What?
yeah.
Ryan, you didn't tell me.
It's
And
not
that's another thing that on social media, if you have cancer, if you have something going on, most people just put it up right away.
yeah,
You kept
yeah.
that to yourself.
I was pretty private about it. Obviously, your friends and family knew, but again, it happened really quickly. It was the year I turned 27,
Okay.
and it was actually 2 weeks before my 2 weeks before my 28th birthday. Sorry. Um, it
Were
was
you
in December.
married already?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Amy and I will be married 13 years
Oh
in May.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so I had actually just found out we were having our second child, Nora.
Yeah. Mhm.
We Amy told me we were expecting on Father's Day that year, and then it was August 14th. Just doing my regular routine, my hygiene, and felt
Mhm.
something that was uncomfortable and off. So at first, I wasn't going to get it looked at, and I was like, you know what? Let's just be safe.
Right. Where was it, if you don't mind me asking?
It's testicular cancer.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So went into my doctor and he did a quick little examination and you could instantly tell he was like, yeah, we need to take a closer look at this. So did all the tests, got not a CT, I don't know, it's similar to an ultrasound.
Yeah.
And it came back really quickly that yeah, it's probably going to be something we need to deal with and
Mhm.
get removed. So it was actually the date of my 28th birthday that year. I went in for surgery. I had an orchidectomy, which is the removal of the testicle, and that was that. They can't biopsy in the body because testicular cancer is so aggressive.
Yeah.
It can duplicate in size in less than 30 days, whereas something
Seriously, eh? Holy
yeah,
smoke.
where something like prostate cancer is in the 300-day mark.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of people just kind of manage prostate cancer. Testicular, you kind of got to do it.
Was it pain? Were you feeling pain? Is that what it was, or?
It was a lump, frankly.
Yeah.
And it just, it was something that I knew shouldn't have been there. So, at first, being a guy, you don't really want to talk about that sort of
Oh,
stuff.
of
You don't want to go to
course.
the
Yeah.
doctor about that stuff. But I just something in my gut was like, you know what, you got to look at it, you got to get it taken care of. So, went and did that, and yeah, thankfully I did. So yeah, I
That's
had.
nerve wracking, though. Just even going there, first of all, and then
Oh,
opening up about, hey, do you want to go down there and look as a guy?
yeah,
We
it's
don't do that, right?
no, we
I don't
don't.
know.
We don't. It's and it's why testicular cancer is so common in men. It's just we don't treat it. We don't look at it. We're not comfortable, and that's a big thing, a big problem in the world is that guys are to keep their feelings, their pain, their uncomfortabilities to themselves, and just kind of man up and deal with it. So
100%.
yeah, I had the surgery and all was kind of feeling good about it. They did the biopsy and definitely found out it was cancerous. So thank goodness we did that.
What
Uh,
what went through your mind when they told you, yeah, this is cancer? Like I would,
well, at first I was like, well, thank goodness they took it out, and
yeah,
that was that. I didn't really think too much about it, but as we kept the conversation going and talking to the oncologist and my doctor, hearing some of the statistics just based on where it was positioned in the
of
testicle,
course.
how it was growing, the likelihood of recurrence was astronomical. We're talking 75-80%
Wow.
chance that.
And where can it spread to? Like it can go anywhere in the body?
Yeah, well, so your lymph nodes are
Yeah.
connected throughout your body.
Of course.
So it would have gone from there to my lymph nodes. And had I not caught it, you could be looking at stage 3, 4
Oh,
quickly, and it duplicates in size in less than 30 days. So, it's frankly a miracle that I found it as when I did and caught it and got it out as fast
did
as I
you
did.
go like pretty much the next day? I gotta go check this out.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. It was the next day. I was in the doctor's office, and like I said, from the time I found the lump, it was 2 weeks to surgery. Recovered for 6 to 8, and then that's when I made the decision to do chemotherapy. I had the choice not to.
hmm.
They don't try to push chemotherapy on stage 1 cancer patients simply just because of how aggressive and how awful chemo is to the body. But again, like I was mentioning, just the way that the cancer was growing, where it was located, I was looking at 75 to 80% chance recurrence, and here I am. I've got a 5-year-old. I've got another one on the way at the time. Um,
You're not risking
all
it.
that stuff is
You're gonna
gonna
fight. Yeah.
you're gonna fight, right? You're gonna make that choice. So I elected to do chemotherapy because that took my percentages from 75, 80 to like 2 to 3. I'll
Oh,
always have to live with the chance that it might pop up.
but don't we all, in a way?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Cancer cells are available in everybody's body. It's just a matter if they're activated.
Activate. Yeah.
So, but I just had a peace of mind. I was always sitting there thinking, if I had a cough, felt uncomfortable, something didn't feel right, I was always going to go back to, oh, the cancer's back. Oh, I've got cancer again. And having a young family and being, like I said, 28 at the time, I just thought it was the best thing for me to do. So,
Gosh,
uh,
that's so young too.
yeah,
28.
it was nutty, but testicular cancer is common from the ages of 16 to 35, I believe, are the statistics. I'm not, don't quote me on that. I'm not a medical guy, but and it was just bad luck. There's not a whole lot of things I could have done differently.
Mhm.
It's not like I've never smoked a pack of cigarettes in my life. I never done, I'm not a big drug guy. I've never really partaken in that. There's nothing weird. Like sometimes you hear about steroids and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And it was just bad luck.
Mhm.
So yeah, so
Is it genetic or
nope,
interesting?
nope,
Okay.
no, it is literally a roll of the dice.
Yeah. What was your parents thinking during this time, and your wife?
My wife was my rock.
Hmm.
My parents, at first, I think they felt a little guilty. They thought, oh, what could I have done differently?
Yeah.
But that's just my parents.
Yeah.
They've always been that way with both me and my sister. If anything's ever gone wrong, it's always their fault. Where
Yeah.
there's
Parents. Yeah.
nothing they could have done. I think that's parents in
Of
general.
course. Yeah.
But yeah, everybody was there and
Yeah.
supportive the whole way. I lost my beautiful beard. My dad shaved his in support. My wife was beside me the whole way, super pregnant, but yeah, it was
She was
just me.
there. Yeah.
And it was actually how we we kind of turned it into a time to just spend together. We only had one child at the time.
Was it oral chemo?
Sorry?
Was it oral chemo where you take a
No,
pill?
so it was IV.
IV. Yeah.
So I did 2 rounds of 72 hours straight, essentially.
Holy.
So I'd go to the foothills in the morning. They'd give me anti-nausea, they'd give me potassium, they'd give me saline, and then they'd plug me in. I'd be plugged in for about 6 hours. The drug was called bleomycin. So I'd be plugged into that for 6 hours. Then I'd get anti-nausea, potassium and saline again, and then they'd give me an overnight gravity-fed pump that I would have to keep in my arm, and it would pump throughout the night. And then I go back the next day, they take it out, switch arms, rinse, wash, repeat. So
How did you feel about like going through it? Like when you were there, sitting there by yourself at times, or
yeah, it was because of how quick it was. Frankly, it was hard to kind of grasp at first. You felt crummy, you
yeah,
felt gross. You knew that you were getting just awful chemicals put into your body to fight not only the bad stuff, but was gonna kick the crap out of the good stuff too.
oh yes,
Um, so yeah, it
weak?
was
Were you very weak as
oh
well?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably lost in the end 40 or 50 pounds. You didn't want to eat, you had no taste. Lost all my hair. Um, it was awful. I wouldn't wish it on some of the worst people in the world, frankly.
Mm.
Um, but at the time, it was just something I knew I had to do for my family because the peace of mind that of now being 5 years later and no longer having to do checkups or no longer having to really worry about it again. It's always there. Um,
Was there like moments where you're like having breakdowns, like mental breakdowns, and staying mentally strong? Because, when you're weak, you're losing everything, and it's your well being, yourself. You're seeing yourself deteriorate. Like,
Yeah, there was challenging moments.
yeah.
The biggest, the one I remember most vividly was the day my beard fell out. It was
Yeah.
one of the last things to go, and my
Oh,
beard is
you hadn't shaved it. It just,
no,
yeah.
no. So I'd shaved my head because it had gotten really patchy and coarse and gross. So my dad came over and he gave me the Mister Clean
Yeah.
and did it with me and walked me through that. Because again, at the time, I still had a full head of hair. Like I still
Yeah.
had, I was still a full headed man, but I knew that was going to change. So, but I held on to my beard for as long as I possibly could because it's kind of part of my identity,
Mhm.
frankly. It's something that people recognize me for. It's something that I take pride in. I love my beard. It makes me
It's a
look.
beautiful beard.
Thank
It's, yeah.
it makes me look like who I am, and it makes me feel kind of like Ryan.
Yeah.
Um, and I remember I was sitting in a lazy boy, just trying to relax, maybe watching some television or something, and I kind of put my fingers through my beard because that's my when I'm thinking, or I just play with it, and it all was in my hands, and that was kind of the moment I went, holy crap, like this is real, like I'm sick, and I'm not gonna be the same person at the end of this, and I'm not the same person I am right now, and yeah, it was tough. It was probably it was the most vivid memory.
Mhm.
But yeah, there were up
Yeah.
and downs. Not being able to taste food, only really being able to taste that acidy,
Oh,
gross
yeah.
chemical taste. Um,
And you can just literally taste it like coming out of you.
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's you tasted it. When you ate, when you drank, when you spit, when your mouth goes dry, and I
Mhm.
had to get special toothpaste because my mouth got all infected, and there was just so many different things that came up through it all. But in the end, I wouldn't have changed my mind or wouldn't have done it differently because 5 years later,
You're here.
where we're at as a family, I'm here. I'm
Yeah.
I'm clear. I don't have to, unless something comes up drastic, I don't have to get poked and prodded and CT'd and all that stuff because that's a big part of the mental battle too. Is the 5 years after, for the first three, it was every month I was getting blood work and X-rays and CTs, and which is more chemicals going in your body, and you feel gross head to toe, hot, and um, I don't have to do that anymore. So
Yeah.
for 5 years, did it suck? Absolutely. But now it's kind of one of those things that yes, it's part of me, but it never defined me anymore. So
Did your kids or do your kids now understand what you've gone through and how, like what dad went through?
yeah, my son does.
Yeah.
He'll be 10 in July, so he was 5. So he didn't really get it at the time. He was more excited. Mom was pregnant. He's getting a sibling. He knew dad was sick, but didn't really understand anything about it. Now that he's a little older, we've had some more conversations with him about it, and unfortunately, cancer being as awful as it has, we've had people affected by it and lost people in that
Of
time
course.
frame. Um, he gets it a little bit more, and he understands that it was a scary time, and but he's thankful that dad went and did it and got the thing done, and now
Yeah.
we're here and moving on, and Nora will eventually get it. Again, she
Over
turns
time. Yeah.
a couple weeks, so she wasn't around to see dad is sick. She's seen some pictures of
Oh yeah.
no hair at all, and
Hmm.
dad dad is sleeping or stuff like that, because we did document some things,
Hmm.
did a little video series for myself, daily updates kind of thing, um, that I wanted to keep for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was
Can you hear my dog?
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it's the worst, man. It's like he'll come in here, and that's why sometimes I have to go like this with my hand. I look like a loony.
That's okay. I banish my kids to the basement. I think, okay, watch a movie, just
Yeah.
be quiet. I gotta.
Are you working from home right now?
Yeah, I'm fortunate that my job allows me to.
Yeah.
So
Are you
I've
still
been
at the same place you've been at for like last few years?
in the same industry. I've been in this company now for 2 years.
What's it called? DSL? Not DSL.
No, it's the company I work for is called Tamco. So
Camco.
yeah, I'm a business development manager for a group of 9 branches
Damn.
for a manufacturer essentially. So
That's pretty
uh,
cool.
electrical industry. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
electrical. There we go.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I've been in that since 2005. So in electrical,
Yeah.
never in the trade itself. I've got too dainty of hands, frankly. I'm not very handy either, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That's sweet, man.
It's enjoyable. I have fun with it.
How did you get into photography? So you were in remission and you just
Yep.
said, I'm gonna start photography, or how did that happen?
So after all of the cancer and stuff is, the main portion's done. That's when I kind of started to try to focus on my mental health.
Yeah.
Um, so I started seeing a counselor and just talking through some of the stuff that came up through the process, and just trying to make sure that I was good. And my wife and I at the same time, we were going through marriage counseling as well, just to, again, everybody goes through struggles, and
Yeah.
we just happen to be at a rocky point in our time. So through that, the counselor suggested I find a hobby, find something that involved outdoors that I could enjoy, that I could just go and get lost. And I had gotten a camera with our wedding money
Oh, okay.
8, 9 years before, and had never used it. I was I was mad because I didn't get my big TV that I asked for in the wedding.
Yeah, you're like, ah,
Amy got everything, and I was like, well, whatever cash, it's mine. And I bought myself a little
camera.
point and shoot APS-C
Yeah.
DSLR, and never used it. Um, so at the time we were living in Woodbine, and which is connected to Fish Creek, and I just had been cleaning stuff up, found the camera bag, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go walk in Fish Creek and put some music on, and just and
Mhm.
decided to take the camera bag with me. And I turned my phone off. I said, I'm just going, Ames. I'll
Yeah.
be back in an hour or so. And it was about 6 hours later when I finally left, and I had just fallen in love with nature by myself, listening to the Tragically Hip or City and Color,
Yeah.
and just got lost in the fact that I was alive, that I was healthier than I had been, and all of a sudden was just connected to what I wanted to do, and started finding beauty in the world, and wanted to capture that for myself down the road. So started that way. And
It's cool when you get a camera and you literally start taking pictures of everything, like leaves
oh,
and random things, and you're
yeah,
like,
yeah, it's so bizarre how beautiful
wow.
our world is, with if you just take the time to look at it. If you just take the second to pause and go,
Look around you. Yeah.
look around you, take a deep breath, and just be there. There's
Mhm.
so much beauty in this world. I know we get bogged down in some of the crap
Yeah.
and evil that comes out of things, and it's a nice escape. It's something that I enjoy doing, because it kind of disconnects you from the noise, as it were.
My favorite, I guess, meme or quote or whatever you want to say, it's like a picture, and it's a dog and a guy walking to the park or in a forest, and the guy's thoughts are life, blah blah blah, what's going on, and the dog is just focused on the forest itself where we're at, and it's like mindful or mindful, and that's the thing.
It's
When we're,
powerful.
you got to be present in the moment.
You have to.
Yeah.
Well, and again, like anything that I've learned over
Mhm.
these 5 years since going through it, or since being a father, or with the year that we've had with the pandemic, it's you got to be grateful for
Mhm.
what you have, and not get down about the things that you may think you need.
That's the
Um,
other thing we always,
we're
yeah, grass is
always
always greener on the other side, right?
Well, exactly, right? Like, we always people get, there's days where I hate my job, or
Mhm.
I struggle at home being a father, or a husband, and it's like, oh, my life would be so different, but you have no idea what it would be. So just appreciate the things that we've got right now, the things that are in your life, the people, and don't worry about it, right? Don't worry about the petty things. Just don't.
What were you worrying about back in the day?
Back in the day?
Or just with life? Like, what were you always
Oh man,
thinking about?
what does everybody worry about? You know, I'm worried about am I making enough of an impact? Am I leaving enough of a legacy? Am I doing enough as a father or as a husband or as a friend? Um, you know,
Yeah.
am I doing a good enough job at work or in home? Or it's never enough. Your brain, we're conditioned to always think that we're not doing enough. We're not
Mhm.
doing a great enough job. We're not the poster child, or
Yeah.
we're not the supermodel or whatever it might be. And
And we
it's
put that on ourselves, don't we?
absolutely, well, you know, it's almost brainwashed, right? You look around you and it's buy this or do that or lose 20 pounds quick, and or, you
Or
know
go
what?
outside and go see this place, or go check out this place, or look at this photo. Yeah.
Yeah, look what I did. Oh, there's 3,000 likes on this. Go if I go take the same photo, I'm gonna get the. It's
Like
not.
20 maybe.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm with you. Mhm.
It's and for what? Like, what's the big payoff in the end?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I
It's
feel
all.
like we're
It's
just gonna lose on life.
yeah.
Your
You lose
family,
out in
your
those moments.
friends. Yeah.
You lose out in those little things, right? Like
Mhm.
I was super career focused when we first had my son, and I tell my wife this all the time. I don't remember 1 to 5. I don't remember his years. I don't remember him growing up. I don't remember the little things. Yeah, you remember the big moments, the first
Of
steps,
course,
the
yeah.
first words. But you don't remember the time he made a funny or he laughed because you fell down or dropped. You don't remember. Like, I don't remember that stuff because I was so lost in this career that I had to have. And I could translate that through to photography too. When I was driving so hard to get likes, uh, my son wants to go with me. No, dad's got to go. Dad's got to get a picture. Dad's got to
Yeah.
get them on the Instagram. Dad's got to.
Or I'm editing, I'm editing.
I'm editing. I'm busy. I can't do this. I can't do that. And yeah, we always have things in our life that we have to deal with, but
And we can always make excuses as well. That's the other thing.
100%. You just got to make time for those little things because eventually those little things are gone. Like it's
What made you snap out of it? Because I mean, this was even before the pandemic where you kind of slowed down and you're like, I'm not gonna go back into photography for a while.
Again, I started to lose the fun of it. I
Was it
was
an instant
more.
hit or was it
Yeah.
over time it ate you up?
Honestly, I'm not an avid golfer. Like, I like
Yeah.
to golf. And I was playing City of Calgary course,
Mhm.
Shaganappy one day. It was kind of
Do
gloomy.
you ever watch golf?
Oh yeah, I'm huge into sports.
Are you okay?
It's a crazy. I don't know if you want to hear, but
Yeah.
my wife thought I was gay. That's how we met.
Really?
Yeah, she went to high school. We grew up 3 blocks from each other. We're 3 years apart,
Hmm.
and she went to high school with a guy named Ryan Jones who came out to the school and was a gay man, and
And she thought
and
it was you.
well, yeah, it wasn't me. And so we ended up working at the
Yeah.
same company, but at different locations. And at the time I was, 17, 18, all that in a bag of potato chips, trying to, woo all the cute counter
Of
girls.
course. Yeah.
I couldn't get anywhere. I didn't understand. I thought I was a semi-attractive guy, whatever.
Yeah.
And finally I just flat out asked, like, why won't you go on a date with me? And the one girl, she said, well, there's this girl down at the other branch, Amy. She says you're gay. So we kind of think you're just.
You're just having, yeah.
So we ended up meeting at a function once, and I kind of walked up to her and I went, "Hey, just so you know, like,
I'm not,
stop.
yeah,
I'm
I'm not.
Ryan Jones, but I'm not the guy you think I am." And that was where we started, and we became friends after that, and
Oh,
we
that's
just
so
got
nice. Yeah.
married. But it's just crazy, right? Like, it's again, love is love. Like,
Yeah.
again, we're gonna be married 13 years in May, so I was engaged, and I think I was married before I was 22.
So
But
what happened then? So you stopped photography, and
yeah,
were you thinking? No, we met through Lightworkers Union. How
yep.
did you get involved with that, and how did you find them?
Um, I honestly don't remember, to be
It's probably
frank.
just through Instagram, eh? In
You
Calgary.
know what? I think I saw something on Instagram, and I think I was following Andy at the
Yeah.
time, and he had said they were doing a meetup, and again, I'm fairly. It may not seem this, but I'm fairly introverted. I don't have a ton of friends, and I don't socialize very well. Like I've got some different
You keep
things.
in your bubble. Yeah.
I keep in my bubble, and my bubble is very small.
Yeah.
So
But it's quality over quantity. That's what I guess.
yeah, and I had a couple times I had said I was going to show up, and then I bailed. Something came up.
Yeah.
It was just my insecurities, right? Here, these guys who've got big accounts, and they're all this social media fame, as it were. And finally, my wife was like, just go. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. Just go. And if you hate it, then leave. Like, who cares? Like, what are you going to lose? A couple hours out of your life? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, go. Like, get out of the house. Go.
Good.
And so I went. And it was that the first one I went to was when you and I met for the first time. And I really enjoyed it. Everybody was super genuine. You see this persona, or you see this body of work online, and you go, man, like they're not going to want to talk to a guy with a couple hundred followers.
That's what we always think. Yeah.
Kind of learning, and I don't know how to do certain things that these guys are doing in their editing process or their artistic process when they're shooting, and it wasn't like that at all. Andy was super cool. You yourself, like all of them were just great. And, that was a big reason why
having fun. Yeah,
it was just having fun and getting to meet people, and it led to I went out a couple times with Andy. I went out a couple times with a couple other guys and learned about light painting, and just broadened my ideas and my understanding of it.
And we all have that love for art and creativity, and it was just really cool to see everyone come together. It doesn't matter, because at that moment we're all beginners, and we're all learning from each 100%. Other. Like, how do I use this button, or what am I doing here?
That was the block I had before when I was just kind of flaking out. Man, like nobody's gonna want to talk to some guy, like me. And it was a completely opposite thing. Everybody wanted to better each other. Everybody wanted to feed off each other. Everybody wanted to bounce ideas and get together. And it's been a very long time since they got together, and I don't know if it ever will happen again. But
I don't know what happened with them, eh? On a side note, I don't know what happened.
No, I don't know what happened.
I think everyone got busy, or life. I don't know.
Life.
Have you talked to them and been like, hey, are we doing this again, or no?
I reached out a couple times. We had there was like a group Instagram chat for a while.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, is this happening ever again? Like, I'd love to see people. Like, you guys are really cool. And it just kind of fizzled out. And I still talk to a few folks every now and again. We talk about getting together, but
kind of like you and I have for like how long now?
Life happens, and, and then there's a pandemic,
and now we're zooming it, so that's good. Hey, at least we're doing it.
Thank gosh, there's technology. Hey, so
did you have a little bit of fear or nervousness doing this, or not really?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, I got a page of notes just to try to keep myself on track. And
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
we all do still, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Like, hey, look, you're a down to earth, genuine guy, and but it's daunting, right? You've got this big social media presence, and your life is hectic but pretty cool looking from what I can see.
From what you can see, exactly, yeah.
And so you sit there and you go, man, what if I flub up, or what if I'm not entertaining, or what if I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like when recording our podcast for the first time with the four of us, right? You sit there and you go, they're four of your buddies. But you sit there and you go, oh, what if they hate what I say, or what if they don't like this, or what if it's just.
Oh, man, for me,
brain is crazy.
Forever to come up, like, just go through with this podcast. I've been dabbling in it. I'm like, oh, put it up, and I'll take it down for years. And I think you might have seen on social media, I'll put something up and I'll take it down. Yep. I just don't. I'm not there yet. I'm not good enough, or I don't know what I'm doing. I still don't really. Before even I got on here. So all the podcasts I've done thus far before you, apparently my mic wasn't on. I've just been using the computer mic. This has been a prop.
Yep.
See, so you learn daily, and man, we're all going through everything together.
It's crazy. Yeah. Like the background stuff of our podcast so far. It's been daunting, but it's been cool to learn. Like the cutting things up and getting out onto SoundCloud, so then it pulls to Apple and Spotify, and even some of the stuff that you never think about. Like, I didn't even think about a logo at first, and coming up with ideas for that, and then hating them, and then loving them, and then doing it and stopping.
I love it right now. The 4 mics.
Yeah. It was Brian, the
Yeah.
guy who does the actual hosting. He came up with the idea, and he's kind of, again, him and I are kind of the two of the four that have really kind of been like the driving force of doing this. The other two guys, yeah, they do some research and talk about stuff, but you can kind of tell when you're listening to it who's putting the effort in and who's just kind of along for the ride for now.
For now.
But yeah, Brian
Just
took it on.
dropping it in here, eh? Hey guys, toughen up.
Yeah. Well, like I said, like we recorded 2 episodes at first, and I bought this blue mic. It's a little
That's actually a really good mic, by the way. Holy.
It's like $70, right? So okay.
But it works. It's clear.
Don't order skip one week, or cut back on my Starbucks or whatever. Yeah. And everybody's like, yeah, we'll do it. And then a couple guys, they show up and they're using their computer mics, or one guy's using his headset from his video gaming, and they just sound like one of them sounds like they're calling from a payphone overseas. Like I couldn't listen to it. It was an hour and 10 minutes, and I couldn't listen to 5 minutes of it because the second the guy jumped
that's
in,
like me with my last few podcasts. I'm like, why? I can't listen to it. I seriously can't listen to it. Maybe it's your own voice too. You freak out. You're like, ugh, do I sound like that?
Yeah, you definitely sound different than what you hear. 100%.
Mm-hmm. Like, I sound so good. It's like singing in the shower, and then you're like,
wait a sec, I should probably not sing.
So I've never been to a Cavalry game. Is it worth checking out?
100%. 100%. It's exciting. The atmosphere at Spruce Meadows is unbelievable. If whenever we get back, it's a great time. You'll have to go. The players are all fantastic. The coaching staff, everybody gets involved. They're definitely very friendly. My boss and I, we flew out to Hamilton. Not this last year, the year before, when the Cavs were in the final for the first leg. We flew out there to watch the game away, and we ended up staying at the hotel with all the players and stuff, and had a great time. We were able to chat.
You got to meet them and chat with them.
Oh,
that's super cool.
Yeah. And it's cool to see where soccer is going, or football is going in Canada. That's a big thing. Is it's been such a background sport for so long, right? We've got hockey. Canadians invented basketball, lacrosse. Leagues like the CFL, the Jays, everything.
Did you hear about Sylvan Lake? We've got the Gulls coming in now.
Yep.
What is the league? It's not not MLB, but it's CLB or something.
Yeah, the Canadian Baseball League, CBL.
CBL. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. So Medicine Hat, Okotoks, those times. I think there's a team coming to Sylvan Lake, but yeah.
They're gonna keep up with that, or?
Maybe. Baseball is definitely my weakest sport. I can't watch the game, frankly. It's tough. It's hard to sit down for 4 hours and watch baseball.
It's fun playing it as a kid, I remember.
Yeah, it's fun to go to. I've been to a couple Dogs games, and they're fun. It's a cool atmosphere to be at live,
but not TV, like just
television, frankly. But yeah, I'll go to a Dogs game every now and again, maybe once a year when they have games. But
are you a UFC guy or MMA or?
Not really. I used to be when I lived in Medicine Hat back in 2008-ish.
Yeah.
That was you had the Randy Couture and Chuck Liddell. That time, right? That the Huntington Beach Bad Boy, and everybody was wearing Affliction, and that's what
I remember that. Yeah,
went to the bar on Saturday night, and you're at UFC 20, and you're
watching Tito Ortiz.
Ortiz,
Ortiz. There we go. Yeah.
So it was a big part of my life back then, pre-kids. And then I kind of just lost touch with it when I
wrestling growing up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, me too.
WWF. Oh yeah.
I love how we still call it WWF. It's still...
I can't not call it WWF, but yeah, the D-Generation X era.
Suck it.
Mick Foley, The Rock, Steve Austin.
Oh yeah. Triple H and all of them. Yeah. Remember Rikishi Too Cool?
Yep.
He was.
Yeah, Mandible and
Who's the ones that did the Warm? The two boys, Cool Boys, or the twin? I can't remember their names.
I can't remember.
Yeah. Do you remember them though? They would do the Warm.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, so what's your podcast about, and how can people follow your podcast?
Oh, okay. Well, our podcast it's four average guys, four average Calgarians, talking sports and opinions. And we created it out of a little bit of boredom and a global pandemic. It's called the Four Sportsmen of the Apocalypse. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and Instagram. We're all under the Four Sportsmen of the Apocalypse. Um, all of our links are through and ready to go, and we're just cutting our teeth right now. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a blast on it, and
You might need to get Kelly Rudy on it.
right.
Do
Maybe down
it.
the road.
Do it, man.
Yeah, down the road, maybe. We've talked about it. We've talked about bringing.
No, not down the road. Sooner would be better.
Wow. Yeah,
I'll put you in touch. Let me know.
okay, I will. That'd be
Don't
fun.
get nervous though.
I'm already nervous. You said Kyrie. I know you talked to him, and I saw the. Oh, who was it? Who's the other guy you just did recently?
Justin Dowling,
Yeah.
the hockey player.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you follow him or have you seen his stuff? Have you heard of him before? Yeah.
Yeah, he was he with the Stars?
Stars. Yeah, he's from Concord.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to get some good players on there. I should get some legends.
You should like there's a pretty cool like a tight knit community with the Flames and with the Hitmen here in town. Like there's some guys that still.
Let me know some guys that you think I should get on because
Sure.
I'm just like winging them. I'm like, hey, you want to do it?
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the best part of, in my opinion, of this side of what's happened with the pandemic is people are a little more accessible and a little more willing to do
Yeah.
things.
I'm with you, man, on that. Straight up, like I was just talking to actually Jody about it yesterday on the phone, and I said, "Is some of the people, like even yourself, I couldn't even talk to you. Like we were so busy with life, the rat race. Like, oh yeah, we'll get together, and sooner or later someone's gonna die, kind of thing. That's what life was.
Uh-huh.
And all of a sudden now we have this time to actually reach out, and like here we are together, sitting, talking.
Well, it's definitely changed my life. I know the pandemic has been terrible for a lot of people, but the good out of it is that it's definitely changed my priorities. I definitely want to make more time to do things I want to do and not just chase some idealistic thing that you think
Not real.
have, right? I love doing this stuff. I could talk all day long about anything.
I love it.
Love taking photos. I love hanging out with my kids, and I'm going to do more of it. Whether when things get back to normal, whatever. This is my new normal. Is
between you and I, like
more there.
I'm kind of liking this. Like I was afraid to go back to everything being normal, like the humdrum. Hey, I want to go out for a drink. Want to go out for a drink? No, man, I don't. I'm okay, and I'm really honing in on your own self. Like I loved painting as a kid. Like I used to oil paint and acrylic paint, and like now I've been doing more of that, and I find therapy in it, and I'm really enjoying my time by myself doing it. It's calming, and I've been saying no to a lot of things, like a lot of businesses I would have said yes to, or let's go do something. I'm like, nah, I'm okay. I don't want. Sure, would it be nice for a little bit more? Obviously, but I don't. If it's gonna disturb my peace, I don't want it.
That's the thing. It's. I'm now at an age in my life where money isn't everything, where status isn't everything. It's about being happy with myself first and foremost, with the people I love, my wife and my kids, and then letting the rest of it fit in where it fits in. And if it doesn't, not forcing it. You don't force a puzzle piece together.
Nope. Why do we want to do that in our life?
Why do we have to do it in our day to day? It doesn't make sense.
No. So. It's been, I don't know, man. What is some of the lessons though you've learned like throughout it all? Like, would you let someone now just like, hey Ryan, let's go do this? Like, being an introvert, it's probably like this is like your happiest moments, isn't it? Being an introvert.
Yeah, I've never missed people like I have now. Like I've obviously I'm fortunate with my wife and my kids, and then my wife is my best friend. But little things like my close friend who I was best man in his wedding a couple years back, he had his son, and I haven't been able to meet him yet. Just little things like that where it's like,
I remember that wedding. Remember I messaged you, I was like, I'm gonna crash it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the
Yeah, it
one,
was a
right?
blast. That was at Spruce Meadows too. That was it was an absolute
Yeah,
blast
that
as
was
well.
like one of your best friends you had said you were his.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and, him and I met just after chemo and stuff, and we connected over golf, and yeah, he's a really cool dude, and
Nice, man.
but yeah, like they just welcome their son into the world, and like I haven't been able to meet him, just little things like that. Where in the past, you know, um, I probably would have taken a little more for granted. I would have, if I wasn't feeling up to going out, I would just make something up and be like, oh, I'll
Right.
see him next time, or I'll see them next time, or I'll catch them next time.
What made you say, "Let's do this," like, today? Because obviously you could have made a billion other excuses. "I don't wanna do it. I'm just not feeling it."
Um,
Or, like, kinda like, "Let's just go for it."
you know what?
Yeah.
Again, it's because yeah, I don't know, at 11:30, I went to my wife. I was like, I'm just gonna find a reason. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
find. And she's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Why do you want to do that? And I was like, wow, what if I suck? What if I'm not good enough? What if I'm just negative, 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 negative? And she goes, but what if it's amazing? And what if you and Zach have a great time?
Mhm.
And what if he asks you to be back? Or what if he
Of
wants
course.
to do something else down the road? Like there's so many positives that
Yeah.
you've tuned out, you've turned it down. What if? Stop with all the negative what ifs. Look at the positive what ifs. What's the worst that happens? I get on a call for a couple hours or
It
however long
sucks,
you
right?
are. It
Yeah.
sucks. Have I hurt myself? Have I hurt you? Have I hurt anyone? No. Have I learned anything? If it sucks, probably.
Yeah.
And we go on.
That's
So
life, isn't it? Yeah.
that's life, and that's probably one of the biggest things that I've pulled out of everything from the last year and a bit now is just stop taking all that negative. Just if you're gonna listen to negative, because people are going to. It's humanity. You've got to subsidize it with positive. You have to be able to listen to both sides of the
Yeah.
coin, as it were. Because if not, you're going to drive yourself into a state where you're never going to do anything.
Can you imagine, like, what a year we've had, though, eh? What a year we've had.
It's
Like
unreal.
like, if you actually pause for a second, like, for me, it was, oh my god, like, it's really been reflecting lately, and turn on the TV at 5 o'clock news, 6 o'clock news, 11 o'clock news. COVID, COVID, COVID.
Yep.
I'm exhausted. And I think so many people are.
Yeah, it's. I think there's again. We're in a time where information it has never
Overload, right?
been more accessible.
Mhm.
At the touch of your finger, you can read whatever you want.
Yeah.
um, and companies know that, so they're going to inundate you, and they're going to continue to pound it down your throat, as it were. And
Even with social media, like, I go on and I'm like,
yeah,
kinda don't wanna be on it. Like, I get exhausted, and obviously for work, I have to do it because that is my job. But the
yeah,
problem is I'm posting all these mountain pictures and all these things, and I'm like, "Fuck," like, that was, like, 3 years ago I went, man.
yeah,
I haven't gone back to the mountains.
yeah,
Like, I'm just reusing old content, and I'm like, "This is not even who I am anymore." Like, or it is who I am, but I'm not going out there. I should, but I'm not. So it's
yeah,
like, you can show what you wanna do and what you are wanting, but you're not there and you're not doing it. So that's the other part. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It. You kind of lose a little piece of yourself, right?
Yeah. And I think for me going forward is like, I wanna do things that I wanna do. Kind
Yeah,
of like I went and did that, what was it called? That police officer, Sergeant
yeah.
Hernandez
The
video.
tribute, it was beautiful, man. It
Thank you.
was
Yeah.
incredible.
But I literally just, I don't live too far away, and I was like, it was the night before his thing that he had gone on memorial, and I was like, see the city blue, and I was like, fuck, I just gotta go do it.
Yeah,
Like, it's someone's got to see this, and I hope his one day his son sees this. That look what
yeah.
this, look what our city did for.
Well, again, right? Like a lot of people will have never wouldn't have had the chance to know what happened or how it went or see that how how strong the support was or how people came out for this
Mhm.
if you hadn't done it.
Mhm.
And again, you could have talked yourself out of it.
Yeah, there was a few times, even the next day, I was like, I don't know, should I go down on Memorial Drive? Like, is that disrespectful? That's kind of creepy, Zach. Don't do that. Come on.
Yeah.
And I was like, but there's a positive to this side where if you go and you show this, because you really want to see it, Zach, go do it, and you can
Yeah.
share it with the world if it's
What could have been the worst thing that happened? You videotaped it, you did your piece and nobody wanted to see it. But at least you did it for yourself.
That's what I
Police
yeah, it was
officers.
for me. I'm not
100%, right?
it was not for
Because
likes, it's not for anything. It was just like, let's just try and see if this can
and
actually
then
be nice. And if it moves
and look
you,
what it turned into,
I know.
right?
47,000 views later.
Yeah, and a beautiful piece
Yeah.
of art, a piece of history of remembering that yourself, myself, anyone,
Can go
you
look
mentioned
at yeah.
son, anybody could watch that whenever they want.
And it's
And
from the heart. That's the other thing.
it's
There's
beautiful.
difference, right? When it
It's
comes from the heart,
absolutely beautiful, right? You didn't do it because you were hoping to get recognition
yeah. No.
or status or likes. You did it because you thought it was the right thing to do,
Mhm.
and you did it a wonderful job. You can tell the quality. You can tell that you put this into it, not just this. And it's something that people who knew that police officer could cherish and
Mhm.
love
Mhm.
and be emotional and grieve and love and remember and all of those
Mhm.
wonderful emotions.
Well, we
And
all know loss and we all know pain and suffering, and we think it just hit home and it hit Calgary. You know, it was one of those things. I don't know, and people die every day, but it hit home for us in
oh
Calgary.
yeah, yeah, it was one of those moments in time that people were able to rally behind
Yeah.
an unfortunate thing, but it it brought to light a lot of the pain that people are feeling and allowed people to come together
Mhm.
and feel something
As
more than
one,
just
yeah.
alone.
Especially with the times everyone's so
Oh,
divided in so many
uh,
ways. Yeah.
the world has never been more divided as it is,
Yeah.
and it's tough.
Yeah. What made you start going into the mountains again and start take photos? Like last year you did that, right? Was it
Yeah,
last year or the year before now?
it was last year.
Yeah.
It was 2020.
I'm losing time, man, with everything that's going
It's
on. Everything's a blend.
what day is it? Tuesday? Honestly, it got to a point again where I wanted to just get back into it for me. I wasn't really that interested in. I threw a couple photos up, but nothing like I used to. And but again, it was I've been out to the mountains a dozen times more than what anybody knows or what anybody sees.
But you didn't.
No, it's just for me now. It's just for if there's something cool and I
Like,
want to play with it and I want to throw it up there, sure.
but
Um, one of the driving forces, a buddy of mine wanted to get back into photography. He's like, "Do you want to just come along?" I was like, "Sure." First couple times, didn't even take my camera. I just went and hung out and
yeah.
just spent time. And then I was like, "Wow, if I'm out there, I might as well." And again, it just became more of just for me. It's not. I've come to the realization that I'm never going to be some internationally known photographer. I don't want to be.
Yeah.
Um, I don't want it to become my job. I
But
don't
your
want it.
work is beautiful. I gotta say that, man.
I
Seriously.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, everybody's their own worst critic, so I think
Yeah,
it's
of course.
garbage.
No, it's amazing.
But
Do you use curves?
no,
Really? But the way you like the shadows in some of your work, I'm like, holy smokes.
no. I used to use Lightroom. I think I use a program called Photo Editor now because it's free. Because again, I don't do it
You're not
enough.
doing it enough,
There.
yeah.
And but yeah, I could I start posting every day or every other day again? Yeah, I don't want to.
Even me, like I said, it's what am I posting? Nothing. I'm just posting to be relevant or posting to exist, not posting for an impact.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to be that guy anymore. I don't need the recognition. I don't need likes. I don't need that. I do it for my mental health. I do it because I enjoy to
Yeah.
do it, and
Like I
I
just
go.
finished this painting. Well, it's almost done, and I was like, you know what? Bell Let's Talk is coming up in 2 days. I was like, this out of like nowhere. I was just like, while I'm painting, I'm like, fuck. You know what? Let me just put this up and see if I can just whoever. Let's see how much I can raise, and then just fucking whoever buys it or whatever wins it, they just donate it to Bell Let's Talk directly. And I'm like, for me, it's therapy, and we'll see
Yeah,
what happens. But these are the things I'm actually like looking at. And I don't know if it's with age or something's happening, man. Where I'm like, people are like, well, why wouldn't you want to just sell it, dude? I'm like, because I'm not making it for money. I'm not painting for money. I was just painting just because I needed to do something. I was tired of the
yeah.
whiteness outside and the bland colors.
When I was posting photos every day, I was doing it for everybody else.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing it for me. And it was stressful. It was
Mhm.
picking the right thing and making the right hashtags and making sure it looks nice on your grid. And
Oh God, it's the
now
rat
it's
race, man.
now it's I take pictures for myself. If
Hmm.
I like the look of something, I'll take a picture of it. If I don't, I move on.
Kind of like the Canadian podcast. I'm like, what am I doing? It's like perfect grid. This. I'm like, oh Jesus, Zach,
Yeah.
here we go again.
Yeah. Well, and again, right? Like we started our podcast and we're starting to think about getting into the race of it again. And I'm like, do we want to, or is it just if it happens, great, and if it doesn't, oh well.
I'm almost thinking to like start this idea where it's like, I don't know, like a Canadian podcast, like the network, call it like the network, where it's like just like have all like say your guys' podcast on the website as well. It's just like, hey, go check these guys out. Like, because I think it'll be a cool idea because most people don't get to see everybody's podcast, and not maybe people know mine either. So it's
Yeah,
almost
like
like we help each other grow it. I don't know. What's your thoughts on that idea? I don't know.
it's not a terrible idea. Again, it's the problem is you have to have people who are dedicated and interested in it.
That's
If
the
you're doing
thing.
it with the intention to grow it to something, and like everything, you usually have people who are super keen, and then you have people who are kind of just there to show up. So
Have you seen some of like the guests I've had or the podcast or listened to a little bit?
yeah, well, I to be honest with you, I forgot you had a podcast.
Even I forgot I had one until 2 weeks ago.
And then I remembered, and then I listened. I listened to the Kelly Rudy one, but I like again, I didn't know you had a YouTube until yesterday.
Ah.
So I like podcasts on YouTube. I like seeing videos. I like watching people talk to each other. So
You're
I'm
like
gonna
me.
go.
I don't really like just listening to a podcast. It's not the same feeling.
Yeah, right. You don't get to see the emotion. Like you can.
Yeah.
There's emotion in your voice, but you don't get to see like the animation. I'm a hand talker, and I'll do this, and you can see when people are getting are uncomfortable or sad, and or in thought or
You
whatever.
feel it. You feel it.
Yeah, you get a little bit more of that connection. Like, oh, I'm in the room with that person. I can see that person. I feel what that person is thinking while they're speaking, and so yeah, I honestly I haven't really been into podcasts for a long time either.
Same here, man. I
I
used to
haven't
listen to
followed.
Joe Rogan a lot. Joe Rogan.
I can tell you, I've never listened to a Joe Rogan podcast.
Really? Hey. No. But you love Sportsnet. You love
Yeah,
TSN. So you're busy
yeah,
on that. Yeah.
yeah.
Ask me that, and I'm like, I have no idea, man.
I listen to like Sportsnet does 31 Thoughts, and
Yeah.
there's a couple other ones that I listen to. I tried to listen to Barstool, but
It's tough to listen to Barstool at times, isn't it? Like
it's just like pee and poop jokes, and I can't do it.
seriously, it's painful, isn't it? Yeah.
It's just not my type of humor and not my type of thing. So
I've tried to like look at Barstool memes and all that. It gets tiring. I'm like, nah, I'm not feeling it.
yeah, but no, now that I know that you have YouTube, I'll go back and watch the whole
Yeah.
catalog. Like
You should put yourself on YouTube. But like some people just don't want a video. Like some guests were just a little like, hey, can we just do audio? Like my roots
Yeah,
are not done.
yeah. So we record ourselves on Zoom too.
Good.
And the videos are there. It's just
The editing part now, I know.
the editing part. It's a lot easier to edit audio only than doing audio video.
Videos.
I'm sure you're very aware of the whole cut and paste thing, right? We recorded Sunday, and we'll get our episode out tomorrow for this last week. So
But
doing it.
on YouTube, you can also do is just put like a nice graphic, and then just have you guys check out
Yeah.
this website. It's pretty cool. It's called Headliner. Have you heard of it?
No.
Oh man, it's like free, like 5 free, and then I think it's like $6 a month or something. But each month you got 5 free. And if you're not doing a lot, like, if you're doing 5 podcasts a month, you're good in the free zone. And literally, it'll give you all the transcripts and the writing and all that cool stuff with the little graphics and
That's interesting.
yeah, and the waveforms. Remember those little histograms, like audiograms? Yeah. Canva is another one to check out. Canva, the free Canva for free. Yeah.
I just learned about Linktree, so.
Hey, I just learned about Linktree like 2 weeks ago too. It's
That was
interesting.
crazy.
Yeah, it's cool and it's free.
Well, it was free. That was the best part. Like I know I could make it look prettier if I wanted to pay $6 US a month, but
I'm okay right now.
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good. Maybe if it takes off, sure.
Yeah,
but I doubt it will.
It's funny. It's like the simple things, right? Just
Well, I was thinking about it. I'm like, man, I got to create a bio on Instagram.
Yeah.
And it's going to have 3
Spotify,
different places,
Apple Music,
plus a Twitter account. That's a lot of text. I don't think I can. And then so I went into the search of Instagram, typed in podcast, and just kind of started clicking on, and then I saw one. I don't even know who it was. I saw Linktree. I was like, what the heck's that? And clicked it, and it brought this up. I was like, that I need to know about that.
And it's pretty easy to learn, isn't it, on your phone?
It was super intuitive. It was easy. It was simple.
And then you get the little YouTube or the analytics for each thing too. So that's handy.
Yeah, he gets a little analytics, and again,
I don't really look at my analytics because I'm like, I don't want to feel down. I'm okay.
Yeah. Again, if I'm I do a lot of the research stuff, and I put the script together for what we're going to talk about each week, and Brian, the other co-host, he kind of does all the editing and getting stuff up and does the Instagram post and all that. And I said, if you ever want to share the information with me, make sure it's because it's a good thing and not a bad thing. I don't want to hear the bad news. When we hit 100 views, then you can tell me.
That's funny.
Before that, I don't want to know.
No,
I'm not interested.
Even my YouTube,
because then you're gonna say we spend an hour recording, we cut it down to 25-30 minutes, and we get 5 people listen to it, and 4 of us are the ones that.
That's exactly. Well, man, even like my YouTube, it's like I'm like, oh, I'm so excited doing all this work, and then I think I'm on like 12 subscribers now. I'm like,
yeah. Well, you might be at 13. I subscribed before.
Oh, did you? Sweet.
Like you said, I had no. I knew you had. I've been on I've seen it on the Spotify. I've got you on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Thanks, man. Yeah, but I need that 5-star review.
Well, I got to do that.
Yeah, I'll give you one after too. Yeah. Actually, I did mine that day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I automatically
because I just put them on and I turn my phone off. I'm not doing anything, right? I just listen. Or
now you're gonna realize how painful the audio is because you're like, what the heck was going on? But it was the computer speaker picking up all this noise, and this was just a prop. I got this for I think like $40 or $50 on Amazon. So it's been,
nice.
Yeah, it's been handy. Nice. But the thing is, then it started adding up. I was like, oh, this is great, $50, and then you're like, oh wait, it's an XLR cable. So now how do I plug it into the thing? And that's when you need one of those. It's USB, right? Yeah.
Straight into the USB, plug, play, go.
So if you talk into it right now, can you?
I sure can.
Oh, that's so cool. When you do that, doesn't it feel so nice to hear?
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah.
Whenever you hear it on our podcast where I do that, it's like I'm making a funny joke or
I like that.
Captain speaking.
Can you hear me like this? Can you hear me better like this? Is it louder?
It's a little louder. It's a little poppy. Like it's some of the high end is a little.
How about here? Is that better?
It's like it's still a little distorted. You're a little too close. Oh. You're good where you were.
Like right here's the distance. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And you can hear me clearly.
Oh yeah.
Oh sweet. Okay. See, I'm like I don't know what I'm doing.
You sound great. Again, I'm just listening through computer speaker, but you sound great.
Yeah. And that's what I do. Like on my phone, I'll just like literally watch YouTube videos and stuff like that on my phone. I love YouTube. Do you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's better than Instagram at times nowadays because I don't have to like get bogged down with the noise or just messages. I'm like, oh, stop.
Yeah. I'm nowhere near where you're at. So when you sent back, hey, I turned my notifications off. It made perfect sense.
That's why you realize that, and then I'm not really looking at the.
Yeah. And I actually had to. It's funny because the last you had given me your phone number. I want to say like 6 to 9 months ago.
Yeah.
To text me, and I text you, but I got one digit wrong. So I had it saved in my phone under Zach, and I text, so when you said text me because I'm this time text me because I don't look at notifications. I was like, no man, because I texted you last time. So I opened it up, and that's when I was like,
makes sense. Yeah, makes sense.
Some guy's got to text me, hey, it's Ryan Jones. We should meet up soon. And
yeah. Oh, that's why you're like, man, at least you should have my number. If you're saying text me again, you're like, what is this guy just? It's almost like when, like I read the message, I was like, no wonder the guy's probably like, what the heck's wrong with me? Like I messaged you, hey, let's meet up, and you're like, perfect, or let's do this podcast. You're like, done. Yeah. I don't even answer you back. I was like, fuck.
It was like I said, it was comical because again, human brain, you text somebody once and if they don't respond, why wouldn't you just try texting back? It's one of those things you're just like, nope.
You're like, you're on your phone, dude, or like we're talking about this podcast.
Yeah.
Why isn't he messaging me back?
Yeah.
Like I see your stories.
Because I put the digit in wrong 9
Oh,
months.
yeah. Well, now I have your number too. It's so much easier to be on the phone or texting wise, eh? Like if I need to get a hold of you, I'm just texting you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's easier. Yeah. So like out of these podcasts, it takes like, I don't know. I banged out 7 podcasts in one day, interviews.
Wow.
That was a little much, man. Let's just say that's not fun. I would never do it again.
No.
Exhausting. And I was sitting in this chair. I got up. I was like, ah.
Yeah. That like again, we were only doing one a week.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
We record every Sunday at 4 or 4:30, depending on the guys. And like I said, we're trying to keep it under 30 to 45 minutes.
I like that. Yeah, it gets to the point. It keeps things clean. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're gonna get better at it over time. And that's the thing. It's just practice makes perfect kind of thing. But yeah, I couldn't sit down and talk. We've talked about because we do the 4 sportsmen. There's the 4 major sports. We're gonna do that once, in a 4-week rotation.
Are you gonna talk about the Super Bowl?
Yeah, that's this week. Yeah, we're doing our predictions and everything this week. So
Are you going Team Brady or what?
no, I'll probably go Team Mahomes, frankly.
You're done. I mean, what,
really
10th Super Bowl?
I didn't think Brady'd make it as far as he did, and it's really hard not to take Brady. So
Yeah. 10 Super Bowls, eh? Holy smokes.
yeah, it's unreal.
How many has he won though, other than 10?
Well, he's going for ring number 7 or ring number 7.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So he's played 21 seasons. He's got 10 Super Bowl appearances. So his percentage of making the Super Bowl is higher than Steph Curry's career 3-point percentage.
Wow. Holy smokes.
And Steph Curry just became the all-time leader in 3 points made.
So what is it for you? What do you like the most? Hockey first and foremost?
Yeah, hockey's first, then football.
Okay.
Then it would probably be NBA and then MLB of the major 4.
But golf, you don't really.
We're not gonna. Yeah, I love talking about golf. I don't follow it near as much as I should if I'm going to talk about it on a podcast, as it were. I love playing golf more than anything.
Yeah. Yeah, you were out last year quite a bit.
A little bit, yeah, as much as I possibly could. I had some back problems and I had to take a bunch of time off for that. But
it's crazy. A back problem with just like headaches, like you can't walk properly. Like
yeah, it was awful.
My lower back was shot. I was gone. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a degenerative disc in my lower right back, so I have to. I take very, very cautiously doing a lot of things. So
are you stretching?
Yeah, lots of stretching, yoga. We have a tread climber in the house for working out because running, walking is really tough on my joints. So the walking with the movement
uphill, yeah,
really nice.
Oh, does it pull on your glutes a bit, right?
Yeah. And I do chiro quite a bit. I actually have chiro.
Those nice cracks here and there. Don't you have a chiro today?
Yeah, at 3.
Yeah, 3. Perfect. Cool. Well, I appreciate your time today, man. This is good.
This was fun, man. Yeah. I would.
You have to come back. You're gonna come back. You know that. Okay, good.
Anytime you want to talk, man.
Thank you.
I love talking to you. I love having a banter like this. This is obviously the most in-depth conversation we've ever had, but it feels like when you meet somebody and you talk to them and you just feel like you've known them for your whole life and you can tell them anything you wanted to tell them. Like that's what this has felt like for me. So.
And it's funny how this is over Zoom too. It's not even in person.
It's crazy. You know what I mean? Like we've met in person and we've shared a couple laughs and a drink or two before, but I've never felt like I can talk to you like I am talking to you now. So maybe it is good that we're doing this over Zoom, but
breaking the bubble. Yeah.
Maybe break that bubble, break that ice, and man,
that's like what brotherhood's about. That's where hey, we're all in one life.
We all need men. Men need men. Like we
really do. We really do.
We're weird creatures where we think we're so strong and we can keep to ourselves.
It's okay to cry and it's okay to feel.
To be vulnerable. 100%. I know. Yeah, Bell Let's Talk's coming up. I'm very excited about that. It's
have you toned into your own mental health lately?
Oh yeah.
What are some things that you do to like stay in that zone of Zen?
Well, I am medicated.
Yep.
I do take medication for
Anxiety.
anxiety. Yep. I tried to fight that by myself for many, many years, and
It's hard.
yeah, at some point it just got to a point where I just decided enough was enough and needed help. So,
Was it hard for you to even get going to do anything sometimes because of fear?
oh yeah, yeah, there were times where I'd spend weeks at a time in my room by myself, and or I wouldn't
Mhm.
see my wife, wouldn't see my kids, wouldn't go to work, wouldn't do anything.
You know, it's so funny with this Canadian podcast. People are like, "Dude, you got to change the name." I'm like, "I kind of like it." They're like so generic. I'm like, "I know, but
That's okay.
I don't care, right? Like it's simple, it's easy, it gets to the point for me. I'm okay. I don't have to worry about
And
it.
it's not like you're trying to talk just about sports or just about this. You're talking about
Everything.
general.
Yeah.
So just
Ironically, it's all becoming mental health, isn't it? But that's what it is. That's what life is.
that's where we're at right now. It's a big topic of concern. It's the world we live in, and it's not talked about enough. That's the big thing. So
So for Bell, let's talk. What do you want uh, to be said, or what do you like about what's happening with mental health, where we're heading? Because we're talking about it more nowadays. Like if we were, I don't know, in the '60s, this conversation wouldn't happen. I'm okay. I'm good. I'm good.
yeah. How you doing? Good. I'm good. Good. And then you move on. I still want to see people just know that it's okay to be not okay. I think there's a lot of misplaced pride, misplaced. Um, I'm a man, or I'm a woman. I don't need help. I can do this myself. A lot of that. I'm a lone wolf, and I don't need anybody else. Um, and I think that message needs to change. I think people need to understand that again, it's okay not to be okay, and and it's not going to fix itself overnight. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and it's going to be perfect. You're going to have ups and downs. It is a valley that you have to traverse, and everybody has their own story behind it. But it's being able to share those stories so that maybe just maybe that you can touch or reach or help someone else who maybe going through something similar. You never know what anybody's going through anymore. Um,
A lot of
so
people can say we're okay and we're just showing the
absolutely,
life
it's
or the smile.
easier.
It's behind the smile. Yeah.
It's harder to open up to people than it is to just pass on. And people think they're burdens. People think that they're troubling others with their stories or their problems, and you never know, that person might be having a similar problem, or um, they
Yeah.
might have gone through something similar down the road or in the past. Um, so it's something that has to continue to change. It's something that continues to need to be brought up. I love Bell Let's Talk. I love that Bell gets involved, via the text messaging and the social media sharing. But I'd love to see it where it's not just one day a year. Maybe it's a more frequent thing.
Yeah.
Campaigns are becoming more and more commonplace for mental health, but wouldn't it be wonderful if we lived in a world where we didn't have to wait one day a year to do all this, where we could, everybody could be okay to deal
Mhm.
with it day to
A-
day. So,
And as this day is approaching, I mean, my gosh, you just start thinking like, what? I started thinking, especially myself, I was like, what a year it's been.
oh,
What
it's been awful.
so
People are
many
in the
emotions
worst.
up and down, anger, fear,
People
scared.
are in the worst place they've probably been maybe in their lifetime.
I would say it was so
Right?
different for me. Yeah.
It's crazy. You're talking about job loss, economy questions, fear of getting sick, not seeing loved ones. Um,
You know, Ryan, I was thinking, oh, sorry, it popped. I could hear the pop. Did that pop? Did you hear pop? No.
not in here.
I was thinking so my mom died August 2019, right?
Yeah.
August 7th. I said, could you imagine if it was 1 year later, August like 7th, 2020 or whatever? Like she would have had to see this pandemic and we wouldn't have been able to see her. A lot of people had to have
My
their
wife,
loved ones on FaceTime passing away. Oh my God.
yeah,
So you got to count your blessings if that was destiny or fate. You know, you could
absolutely. Yeah, like you just said, like you wouldn't have been able to spend that beautiful time that you were.
no. Like I
Uh,
slept in the hospital beds on the stretchers in the waiting rooms and it was nice.
yeah, you got to be there till the end.
And no one got like
Mm.
not many people get it right now. So
No, like I just saw my Nana for the first time over FaceTime since like January, just the other day.
Like
And
last January.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, because again, life is life. You get busy, you don't see them. Next thing you know, everybody's in lockdown in March,
Yeah.
and then like it hasn't really opened up for senior centers since.
Nope.
So they're finally my dad finally got to go see her in person for the first time in that long time. Like,
In
could
some
you?
way, did your dad want to just be like, "Okay, Nana, just come live with us," or?
Yeah, unfortunately, she's got some health issues,
Oh
and,
yeah. See, that's the other thing.
right, she's full on got dementia, and
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
just couldn't.
Yeah.
Would I love to be able to take her? I just couldn't.
No.
She
But you
couldn't.
got a family too.
We got a family, and my parents are still young enough that they're working on it. Like, they're just Nana wouldn't have the quality of life that she has now,
Yeah.
um, which is hard to say when you don't get to see loved ones. But she's in the right place for where she needs to be. And does it suck? Yeah, I would love to go and give her a hug and a kiss and tell her how beautiful she looks over, not over a computer screen.
Yeah.
Days. But it's going to make it that much sweeter when you get to.
Yeah.
So, and I hate institutions. I hate
Oh, I'm
being
with you.
in hospitals. I hate being in senior centers. But I can guarantee you that if all of this ends tomorrow, I'll be there once every week just to say hi. Because like you
You
said,
never know anymore.
you never know.
Yeah.
Never know.
Yeah, and if you think of someone, just say, "Hey, how's it going?" Just reach out.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Ryan, for today.
No problem, my friend.
We're gonna do this soon, okay?
I'm free. I will never turn you. I'll never flake again.
Yes. And once restrictions are off, let's just go take photos for the hell of it,
Fuck yeah, I'm in.
or something. Let's do something.
Let's just hang out. I'm
Go
down.
for a walk and no camera. I'm okay with that.
Walk, no camera.
All right, love you, bro. Thank you.
All right, brother, love you. Peace, man. Take it easy.